All right, number 3 is also Hey guys, you're welcome back to the channel. It's Lifestyle with Hadassah and I'm Esther. Good to see you guys here. Happy New Year again, once again. How are you all doing, by the way? How's the new year going? Hope it's going amazing so far. Hope you're getting to your goals and planning and all of that for the year, and I really hope that is going amazing for you, and I really wish you from the very depth of my heart the very best in this year, and I pray for the very best for you in this year. Quickly, I'm just going to be sharing with you 11 lessons that I learned from 2024. I believe largely in introspection and like going over the year, reflecting, looking over the past to help me make my better decisions for my future. And from reflecting and all, I was able to gather things that I have learned in the previous year so that I can apply them in the new year, and hopefully they help me do better. So I just decided to share with you guys some of the lessons, 11 lessons actually, that I was able to write down. I probably learned more, but yeah, I wrote down 11 lessons that I learned from the year 2024, and I decided to share with you guys. So maybe you can also like take these lessons and learn from them. They say experience is not really the best teacher. We were lied to, so it is much more better to learn from another person's experience than to learn from your experience. I want to also know the things that you learned. I need you to also let me know at least one thing that you learned in the year 2024 so that I can also apply it to my life. Okay, all right, let's jump right into the video. God actually does come through. So like I had an issue in 2024 where I honestly really needed God, and I remember praying about that particular specific thing like over and over again, and I'm like, God, I trust in you and I believe that you are able, like you're the God of the 11th hour, like you can, meaning like you can still show up even at the last minute, at the diamond. And I kid you not, that was actually what happened. Like on the last day, like basically the thing I was praying about had a deadline, and on the exact deadline, on the exact day, that morning, I got the answer that I needed to get that thing sorted. I was just like, oh my God. You know how, for instance, you hear the story of how the Red Sea parted, the children of Israel crossed, even though the Egyptians were chasing them. That was also like a similar thing for them, because they're like, there's no way to go. And you hear those stories and you're just like, yes, wow, God who parted the Red Sea. It is honestly one thing to hear stories like this and another thing to experience it, because honestly that whole experience just really made me be like, oh my God, like God, you actually do come through. And I was honestly so grateful. So it's just an encouragement for you to know that God actually does come through. Like it literally felt like I was in front of my Red Sea, or a Red Sea, and God actually parted the Red Sea with the Egyptians chasing me, and God literally parted the Red Sea. So again, just an encouragement. The things we've heard, the testimonies we've heard about concerning God, they're not just fairy tales, they're not just proverbs or things that happen or stories. They actually still happen. God still does miracles, signs and wonders even in this present day. So just in case you're believing God for something and you're trusting for something, I want to encourage you, please do not give up, do not lose faith, do not lose heart. God actually does come through. So keep believing, keep trusting, doing your part. There's something you are supposed to be doing, and just believe God to do the rest. So my second lesson has to do with working. Hustling. So I started working last year. I worked for like roughly about a year now, because I started working in like January. And guys, if there's something that I just, every time I remember, I low-key get annoyed, it is I could have actually started working earlier. Now don't get me wrong, I mean initially when I came to this country, the plan was for me to get a job. I was supposed to support myself literally from the beginning of time, and my parents would probably just handle school fees, and then I'll take care of rent, upkeep and all those things. But when I came here, I didn't really get a job. Like I tried to ask around, and the answers I was getting were not very encouraging, because it was like, there's really no job here. Not forgetting that my school schedule was also not the best, because my school schedule was very scattered. So even the few options I will hear about, it was not compatible with my school schedule. So now, but the place where I'm working now is something, when I actually think about it, is something that I could have actually started earlier, because the schedule is kind of flexible-ish. It's something I could have been able to work with. I guess things happen so that we learn, but when I think about it, I'm just like, if only I had started earlier, maybe 2 years or 3 years ago, maybe finances would have been better somehow, like maybe things would have been different. Or because now it's like I don't have a choice, I have to work. Like I'm literally being forced to work now, like because of the situation of things. And I just just like, okay, maybe imagine if I had started working earlier, I don't know, maybe I would have been able to save money till now, or maybe, I don't know, maybe things would have just been different. So sometimes I actually sit and think about it. I'm just saying, like, as an encouragement for someone, if you can try and find a job, like especially for like students, it might be helpful. Another thing too that I wish that maybe I had done different would have been to get more information. For instance, where I'm working, one of my friends had told me about this company, but I was just, when I heard about it, I was just like, please, I'm not interested. Like, just hearing from outsiders what the company was about, I was like, please count me out, I'm not interested, because of the picture that was already painted for me. That's number one. Number two, the kind of work hours I was hearing about from different people were like crazy work hours. So I just knew that it was not possible to combine that with school. But apparently, because of the situation of things, I was forced to now get a job. I now went back to this same company and like made inquiries, attended the interview, actually heard from the owners of the company what the company is about, things that apparently, some things that I had even heard that, oh, you can't do this, you can't do this. First, I heard that you can't have braids on for like black people, but by the time I got there, they said it's possible. I don't know if maybe along the line they changed things, because I've realized even in the 1 year that I've been around, they've been making some changes and stuff. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe initially that wasn't allowed, but that's just to give an example. Maybe if I had gone there myself to make inquiry, maybe things would have been different. I would have heard something different. But basically, that was there. Also, the thing of what they do, for instance, it didn't turn out to be as bad as it was being described outside. Also, the thing of the schedule, I got to realize that, oh, the schedule can actually be flexible-ish. I'll give an example. I'm supposed to work 15 days in a month, and this was even my mom that even brought up this suggestion, but it was never in the conversation. And maybe if I had even thought of this, maybe I would have started earlier, because she was like, okay, can't you do the least number of hours, or maybe half of the hours, and even if you're not getting your complete pay, you're getting like half pay. And for the first time, I actually thought about it, because now at least at work I can work at least 8 days. I don't have to work 15 days. Don't get me wrong, it's still very stressful. It's honestly still very stressful. So actually, sometimes when I think about it, I'm just like, maybe I would have not been able to, because again, maybe everything just happened for a reason. I don't know, but maybe I should have started and then seen if it's not something I'm able to continue, I stop. Again, we're very aware of the situation of things, especially with dollar for Nigerians specifically, and all of that. So many times I just wish like last year really taught me that I should have probably tried to start making more money earlier. If maybe it meant doing the least number of possible shifts and just getting whatever I can get from it, maybe saving little by little. I actually wish I had started working earlier. If you're a new student going to a country, try your best, do as much research as possible, and as much as possible, don't just hear from people outside. If you can also do your research on the company, maybe with the company or somebody that actually works in the company. Well, just saying. I mean, I'm here talking. I actually don't know if it's something I would have been able to do. Maybe now I've built the capacity for it, and maybe like 2 years or 3 years ago, I would have not been able to do it. So again, yeah, I'm not regretting anything. Just again, throwing it out as advice. If it's something you can do, go for it. If it's an online job, if it's like something to like increase your income, please go for it as far as it's legal. Don't spend your money anyhow. See, guys, money is important. Don't spend anyhow. Actually keep a diary of your expenses. Like have something to track your expenses. It's something I'm going to be intentional about this year, because I realized last year that I buy food. Like most of my money actually goes to buying food. Like actually, just if I actually take you through my house, there's food everywhere. Like it's not supposed to be bad, but I actually realized that I buy a lot of food. Like I have a lot of food stuff in my house. Sometimes it's even not even actual food, it's like maybe junk food. So I mean, like, my point is, you might feel like you're not a reckless spender until you actually take stock of what you're spending or where your money is going. Because the fact that you're not buying like human hair or clothes every week or shoes every month does not always mean that you're not actually spending more money than you should. Because sometimes I go out, I buy food stuff from the store, and I'm like, oh, let me just get bread, let me just get this, and then I get home and I'm like, okay, but why did I buy this? Because I actually had food that at least could have lasted me that week, and then maybe by next week, if I need, I can now buy it. Like, let me finish the food that is here first before I buy the next one. To be fair, I get bored of eating the same thing over and over again. So I usually like to have variety around. But basically my point is, make sure you're keeping a diary of your expenses. If you're spending your money on delivery and ordering food and stuff, or online shopping, calling myself out. To be fair, most of the time when I shop online, there are things that I actually need. Not all the time, but most of the time there are things that I actually need. The food, like the ordering food from like restaurants and stuff, those ones see, I need to treat myself once in a while. So I mean, I know I can do better in that area. I mean, I've been trying to do better. Basically my point is, make sure you're keeping a diary of your expenses. Don't just throw money anywhere, because money is always ready to be spent. It is always happy to leave your hand. So make sure that you're doing your best to keep it with you, or at least investing it in something that will bring more. Well, yeah, keep a diary of your expenses, or track where your spending or your money goes to. Very important, so you know how to spend better and what might be preventing you from saving. Also, because sometimes like emergency can come up, so you don't have to finish all the money in your hand. Like, why do you want to finish all the money in your hand? Why do you want to spend all your last cash on food? Emergency can actually come up. So like, if as much as possible, if you can save that money or keep it for something later, save it instead of just spending. Share know what you're spending on. Okay, this fourth one is something that I don't know, it really pierced me. See, you know when the scripture says, whatever you do, do it as unto God and not as unto your earthly master, or earthly, yeah, you get why. See, like 2024 taught me that in this life, whatever you're doing, do it for the sake of God. Don't do it for the sake of people, because see, human beings will stay in your rights. Like, human beings cannot be trusted. Oh, so see, sorry, well, somebody that speaks good about you today, tomorrow can turn around and speak bad about you. In the end, whatever you're doing, in your being kind to people, in your loving men, in your service unto men, make sure that you're not doing it with, oh, I'll be rewarded for this thing I'm doing, like by man, or maybe at least men will see what I'm doing, or they will know that I'm a good person because of this thing I'm doing. Like human beings, the same Jesus that fed 5,000, or those still not the same people that crucified him. So if human beings can, if you like literally do everything you're doing for the sake of God, and do everything you're doing as unto God, don't be trying to please man. Don't be trying to please man. He gets why. Don't be trying to please man, so that when tomorrow they disappoint you, you will not be too surprised, you'll not be too shaken. Like the shaking that I got last year, I was just like, I just needed that reminder that, but okay, anything you're doing, you are not actually doing it for these people to pay you back, or for them to even appreciate you in return. You are doing it for the sake of God. So please, whatever you're doing in this life, do it as unto God, because again, he's the one that rewards. So that tomorrow when human beings disappoint you, because it is in the nature of man to disappoint. Even me talking, I'm not even talking because I'm perfect, because even me, I'm a human being, and it is also in my nature to disappoint. So tomorrow if I disappoint you, you'll not be too surprised. You'll just be like, it's human beings, it's all unto God. So yeah. So number 5 is to not tie things to your chest. Don't tie things to your chest, my sister, my brother. See, life is short. Enjoy your life while you're alive. Don't hold things too tight to your chest. You know that thing when people say, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, then it's for you. If it was not yours, if it doesn't come back, it never really was yours. I don't know how they say it, but they say something like that. But somehow, like, I actually saw that thing being through last year, like, because I don't know, there are some things that there are some issues or things I used to carry on my head before, that last year I decided that I'm washing my hands off. Like, I don't want again, like, just whatever happens, okay. Like, I don't have strength. I don't know if I I think I intentionally did it, but I think also largely because I was tired, I was exhausted, and I was just like, I don't have strength to fight anymore, I'm not doing anymore, like, and somehow those things were like coming back to me. Like, those things came back to me, or they were coming back to me, or things I'll normally complain about, maybe they would now be happening without me talking about them. Or I don't know if you get what I mean. I don't really want to give too much context. I want to give too much context, is what I mean, but basically don't tie things to your chest too much. Maybe I'll just give an example. For instance, in the aspect of like relationship, for instance, if you are forcing this relationship to work, yeah, I think this is a perfect example. If you're forcing this relationship to work and you're seeing that it's not working, just remove your hand. It's like don't force it again. See, don't force things too much. Don't force it again. Just say okay. Just remove your hand, like maybe until you get tired, then you get well. Remove your hand and say, I'm not fighting again. Let's see how this thing goes. Commit it unto God and let it go. If it is God's will, it will work out without you needing to fight too much. And if it doesn't work out, then it wasn't for you. Basically, I think like maybe because I'm getting older, I'm coming more into my soft girl era. Like I don't want to force anything. I don't want to stress too much about anything. If I try, still not working, I hands off and like let God do his thing and let things just happen naturally. Basically, let things happen naturally. Don't hold things too tight to your chest, or don't try to force things too much. That's what I mean by don't hold things too tight to your chest. Don't try to force things too much. Actually, it taught me to be more intentional with my family and my friends. I realized that we're all growing. So you know how we're growing as children and young adults and teenagers and all of that. Our parents, for instance, are also growing. Our siblings are also growing. I've been realizing how different my siblings are getting. My siblings are changing the same way I'm changing. So the same way I'm growing, they're also growing. They're forming their own ideologies, value system, and all of that. And again, I'm so far away from the rest of my family because I'm the only one abroad. And so I realized that if I don't make that intentional effort to still be friends with these people and still like get to know them and understand who they are now as the year is changing and as they are growing and all of that, a few years from now I'll not even know who this person is, even though we're born into the same family. And also it taught me to actually be more intentional in my relationship with my family, with my friends, because again, my family, we've always been like very close and we've always been one piece, one loving family. So, and I do not want to ever lose that. So I realized that it would take intentionality for that not to be lost. And same thing applies to friendships and stuff. So if it's something that you also want, you have to be intentional about it. Even in your, for instance, your relationship with your parents, I have to make that intentional decision to like reach out to my parents more often, because it's almost like anytime I call my father, especially, the next minute he's already talking, oh, the money, I'm working on it. I'm like, Daddy, I'm not calling you because of the money. I just called to check in on you. Like, I just want to know how you are doing. So he doesn't think that I just see him as a bank and I just always want to take. So trying to be more intentional in my relationship with him, so that he also understands that yes, I'm your child, but my relationship with you is beyond giving and taking, or you providing for me. I love you as my father and I want to build that relationship with you. So yeah, self-awareness is key. I feel like every year I get to understand myself better. And I don't know if this journey can never be completed or if I can never be 100% self-aware. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe I don't know. But something I realized about myself last year is the fact that I'm a very emotional person. Again, when we say emotional, before, what I used to think was, if somebody says I'm very emotional, then it just means that if something happens, they break down and cry. No. And so before, I used to think that maybe I'm not that emotional, like maybe I'm like middle-ish, because I don't really always break down and cry like that. But what I realized is that I'm actually an emotional person, in that I express my emotions in other ways. So I may not necessarily break down and cry about something that happened, but many times my defense mechanism would be anger. So many times I would like put up such an angry front, or I'll raise my voice and my tone and all of that. And it actually took leading people for me to understand this. And now it's not something that I have to watch, because literally I get frustrated sometimes and I'm at the brink of tears, and instead of breaking down and crying, I just lash out. And so I just realized that even anger is an emotion. So somebody can be like, oh, I'm not emotional, you're too emotional, because that other person always cries, but you are always getting angry. That is still emotion. That is still you being emotional. Understand yourself, because again, when you're more self-aware, then you know what to work on, you know what area of your life you need to do better at. It's amazing the amount of things that you can notice just from observing a room or a person or a group of people. It's amazing the kind of things you can save yourself from just by being observant and reading the room. So 2024 actually taught me to be more observant, and I don't know, I bless God for his spirit, because somehow like my eyes were open to see I'm talking about physically as well. Things that normally I wouldn't notice before. I was basically like, God actually heightened my senses to be able to be more observant, and I know I've still not like harnessed it's that ability to the fullest potential. And yeah, it was something that I believe would be beneficial and helpful to practice. Excellence is key. Like literally 2024 taught me the importance of being excellent all around. Like all around excellence is so important. You have to be excellent in literally every single area of your life. Yes, period. Like, see, you cannot be excellent in academics and be dulling in like spiritual activities or business, or you're excellent at work, but when it comes to church, yeah, like mediocre. Or you're excellent at church, when it comes to work, you're mediocre. Like literally, I wanted to give an example, but I'll just not. It's the internet. But yeah, well, basically, excellence is key. At my workplace, for instance, they demand so much excellence from us, so much excellence, and sometimes I'm just like, do these people think we're robots or computers or what? Like, but I've actually realized that it is possible. Like, these things are attainable. Like, they actually request them because they are attainable. And I've noticed that if I like take my time maybe to do things more carefully, it is possible to do those things perfectly well. And if for whatever reason maybe I lose some points, I know that those ones were like actually beyond me, or not because of me, or like not caused by me, or not because of my fault. So the things that are within my control, I should be able to make sure that I meticulously do them. And then whatever else is out of my control, I know that I really don't have a hand in that. They are beyond my control, so there's really nothing I can do. And this has actually taught me to even apply the same thing to every area of my life. So with academics, with school, with church, with my relationship with people, everything, actually, like, I see myself desiring more and more to be excellent in everything that I do. And I think, especially as believers, it is a very important thing for us to imbibe that spirit of excellence, because again, the spirit that we have in us is the spirit of excellence, so we can be excellent by the help of the Spirit of God. So don't give in to mediocrity. Do not be content in mediocrity. Don't be content in being excellent in just one area of your life and then the other area is slacking. But again, I mean, who am I to give advice? It is left to you to do what you want. I'm just again sharing what I learned, and in the hope that maybe it would also help somebody out there. Scripture says though that, "See thou a man diligent in his work, he shall stand before kings, and he shall not stand before mere men." So if you want to stand before kings, excellence is the way to go. Again, I'm sharing these things, like I said, not because I'm perfect in them yet. Yeah, I've learned the lesson, but applications and that thing, so I'm still trying to apply them as much as I can. But I promised on the channel that as I learn, as I grow, I will be sharing with you guys, which is why I'm sharing. Mistakes can happen, and it's okay. Like, I don't know, I really demand so much from myself that sometimes I forget to give myself grace, even though it's something that I have been watching over the years. So now I give myself so much more grace than before. Well, mistakes can happen, and mistakes should be embraced as a learning curve. Especially at work, for instance, I get so annoyed at myself. I used to get so annoyed and so mad at myself when I would make mistakes. But now I'm learning to see that mistakes are also a learning curve. They should be embraced as a learning curve, because what I realized with work, for instance, is most of the time when I make mistakes on certain things, I learn the right way to do them. Because that mistake, for instance, I'll make a mistake on something that I've been doing it this way for the longest time, and I had no idea this was the wrong way, and then somebody notices it and calls it out that, this is a mistake, and all of that, and then I'm now like ask, oh really, this was the wrong way, okay, what is the right way? And now learn the right way to do that thing. So I have learned from that mistake, because if I didn't make that mistake, I would have never known the better way or the right way to do that thing. So mistakes are a learning curve. When you make mistakes, embrace them. Yeah, I know some people can be hard on themselves and stuff, because some people do not like making mistakes, like me. But when you make mistakes, learn to embrace them as part of the learning process, and just learn what you can from that and move on. And finally, my last point, my 11th point would be that everything that happens in your life, everything that is happening to you today, is actually preparing you for the future, or is preparing you for tomorrow, is preparing for where you need to be. Literally, like at the beginning of this year, I spent time in prayer, and I heard those words so clearly from God, that everything that happened in 2024 was literally preparing me for 2025, so that in 2025 I know what to do better, I know how to go about things better, I know what to not do, I know what to do, I know what to say, I know what to not say, and all of that. So really guys, there's really no need regretting. Yeah, like even when I talk about, for instance, oh, I should have started working earlier and all of that, if maybe things did not happen the way they happened to now force me to look for a job, maybe I would have not looked for a job, maybe I would have not seen the need for it. I mean, not to say that, because I always wanted to work from the beginning of time, but basically my point is literally, even how I was talking about capacity, and how maybe if I didn't go through the last 3 years maybe to build capacity, I would have not been able to juggle work now with every other thing I'm doing, because literally I actually am a very busy person. Like, I don't want to stay here and enumerate what my day looks like on a day-to-day basis, but I honestly get so busy with a lot of things, and somehow I'm able to carry it, and people actually ask me how I'm able to do all that I'm doing without breaking down. And I realize that, again, it is capacity that has been built over years, with the help of the Spirit, of course, and different things that have happened, and how I've been able to balance myself like bit by bit. So maybe if I had done everything in the beginning, like from the beginning, maybe I was doing YouTube, school, work, and all of that, it would have not been able to work, and I would have not been able to go anywhere. But because things were being added on little by little, this year I started YouTube, the next year I started this business, then the next year I started working, all of that, somehow God has helped me to build capacity and create space and have systems that work with everything else that I'm adding onto it. So basically, everything happening in your life is preparing you for who you need to be tomorrow, or who you would be tomorrow, or the things that you would need to carry tomorrow. So please give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up too much when things happen, when you make mistakes. There's no need regretting things that have happened in the past. Do what Paul said: after you've introspected and all of that, forget what is behind, put your past behind you, and run the race that has been set ahead of you. Of course, still taking note of the lessons that you've learned, because they've prepared you again for the race that you're running. But yeah, don't wallow in regret and in self-pity and in sadness because of things that are no longer within your control, things that are in the past. Your future is so much more important than your past, so run your race. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really hope that this video was helpful for you. Please let me know in the comment section, okay, something you learned in 2024 that you are going to be applying in 2025, or if there's anything that I said in this video that resonated with you, you can also let me know in the comment section. I will see you in my next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe. Please subscribe if you still haven't subscribed, and guys, please let's share this video. I'm trying to get my views back up because my views have been suffering the past few months, so please help me share, like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, if you watched till this point and you don't have any other thing to say about maybe lessons you learned, do me a favor by leaving what emoji are you going to leave. I'll put it on the screen, so leave that for me in the comment section so that I will know how many people watched till the end. And if there are any video ideas or suggestions you would want me to do, please let me know as well in the comment section. Okay, thank you. Now bye. I'll see you in the next video. Stay healthy and safe until the next time. Bye.